and for the students. Our theme this year is Our Words, Our Power.
There is power in the words we speak and in the words we write. Written words, in particular, are extremely powerful for the one who writes them and for those who read them. Some of us have felt this power, and maybe some of us have wielded it for themselves. Today, literati is a celebration of written words. To quote Margaret Atwood, a word after a word after a word is power.
Now, literary festivals comprise of regular gathering of writers and readers, typically on an annual basis. A literary festival usually features a variety of presentations and readings by authors, as well as other events, delivered over a period of some time, with the primary objectives of fostering a love of literature and writing. And our Literary Fest is no exception. Literati features author readings, book publishing, and author panel discussions. Literati is going to do just that. I assure you that by the end of our literary festival, most of you will find in your hearts the kindling of love for literature. Literati also provides a coveted platform to the members of Bookaholics to present their original work in the form of stories, poems, book recommendations, and so on and so forth. Now, I invite Vrinda to give you a brief overview of Bookaholics.
Thank you, Ritesh and Ruthvi. Words, so innocent and powerless as they are standing in a dictionary. How potent for good and evil they become in the hands of one who knows how to combine them. Good morning, everyone. Today I, Vrinda Singh, stand before you to take you through the works and vision of Bookaholics, Dikshant's book club. Literati is the brainchild of her academic director, Smriti ma'am, and a dream come true for the members of Bookaholics who have poured their heart and soul into this event. Literati is, in my opinion, incomplete without Bookaholics. So let me give you a quick overview of Bookaholics before we proceed with the events of the day. One of the earliest reported book clubs was started in 1634 by a strong and rebellious woman named Anne Hutchinson, who organized a women's group to examine weekly sermons and discuss important Christian texts. Her group met while abroad, a ship headed to the Massachusetts Bay Colony from England, and continued sessions even after reaching their destination, thus creating history. Fast forward to 23rd April 2021, the first ever book club in this area was launched by Dikshant International School, and since then its members have been scripting their own history. For the last year and a half, Bookaholics has been playing an unparalleled role in shaping our future. We have come to seriously and staunchly believe that the more we read, the more we think and contemplate. The more we think and contemplate, the more we expand our mindset and broaden our perspective. And this expansion in perspective helps us to see beyond ourselves, listen effectively, understand truly, handle differences, widen possibilities, and become better humans. Classic literature, science fiction, horror, murder mysteries, psychological thrillers, dystopian fiction, mythology, fantasy, poetry. We have explored them all. We have tried our hands at writing, haikus, limericks, short stories, free verse poems, book reviews, and our writings have not stopped ever since the genesis of our club. Debates, quizzes, art and craft, reading marathon, and several other enriching activities have taken this club to a different level altogether. And today, we stand before you with a literary festival like never before, Literati. Literati is an extension of Bookaholics, and we feel proud and privileged to be associated with it. And on behalf of Bookaholics, I warmly welcome you to Literati. Thank you. Darshita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Vrinda. A very good morning to one and all present here. I am Darshita Joshi, the moderator of the first session of Meet the Author for today. I am the head girl of the school, a voracious reader, aspiring writer, and an integral part of Bookaholics. And today I will be interacting with an author who is familiar to all of us. She is a literary enthusiast, an independent scholar,
a poet, a staunch feminist and PGT English at Dikshant International School, none other than Ms. Aparna Bhatt. Ms. Aparna's book, Inky Expressions, a bilingual anthology of peculiar poetry, was published in May this year and has been received well. She has also contributed to Mother's Embrace, an international anthology of poetry by McKinley Publishing Hub, Kentucky in USA. Recently, her academic paper titled Feminist Dystopian Imagination in Postmodern Fiction was also selected and published in Postmodern Praxis in Literature, edited by Professor Dr. Jagdish Patra and Dr. Bimlesh K. Singh. She has also been actively involved in writing and presenting academic papers in some of the best universities across the country, like Delhi University, Banaras Hindu University, O.P. Jindal Global University, Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, and the like. We welcome you to the session, ma'am. We are delighted to have you here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Darshita. Thank you, Smriti ma'am, Samit sir. And it's familiar grounds because I belong to Dikshant. And I'm very delighted, honored, privileged to be sitting here today. So thank you.
So without any further ado, let us begin. My first question to you is, what or who inspired you to write and publish your book, Inky Expressions?
Alright, so, you know, everybody who writes, we have lots of writers here among us. We have a writer right next to me. I'm surrounded by writers and readers right now. When we all write, we write to be heard. And that is the motivation, I believe. For me, it's all about writing to be heard as a woman. So I want to be heard. I want my voice to be acknowledged. I want my expressions, my experience to be acknowledged as a woman, and that is why I write. Somebody had sent me a very beautiful post. I think it was Anshika, one of my students, who sent me this lovely post which said that every time you write, you create a bit of yourself. And that's exactly what I do. Every time I write, it's not poetry that I'm creating. Poetry is creating me, and that's my motivation.
So now that we know the motive behind your book, I would like to ask you about the title of your book, that is Inky Expressions, and the title is one of the most important elements of any literary work. So what was the idea behind your title?
Yes, title is very important because, you know, when we pick up a book, that's the first thing we notice, the title. And I'm sure all the writers go through this process, and it's a very long process and very creative, where you want to decide your title. Now my book, it's on display here, it's called Inky Expressions, a bilingual anthology of peculiar poetry. This title it took I think almost a month to be finalized. I used Inky tokens as a working title for my manuscript, and you know, if you look at this title, if you do away with all the extra words, bilingual, because, you know, I write both in Hindi and English. Poetry, of course, it's a book of poems. But if you look at the title in itself, the key words, according to me, are Inky.